I am a 5-time Australian representative, Paralympian and gold medalist, and I swum and played wheelchair rugby as well, so I had a couple of different sports, but now I just am very retired and work on a couple of businesses that I run close to home.
What is your lived experience of disability?
My physical disability is arthrogryposis multiplex congenita, so that's what I have in my whole body, which means that I use a wheelchair predominantly to get around and suffer quite a bit of chronic pain. I also wanted to grab a few on the way out, and I have a hand abnormality as well. So when I was in the womb, I made a fist and a piece of skin wrapped around my hand like an elastic band and held it there for many months. I'm not sure. Mum and Dad are not sure. So a couple of weeks after I was born, they cut the skinny elasticy band bit off and opened my hand up. And because these fingers had been covered, they hadn't grown properly. But the cool thing is I actually have a face. I have a stamp on my finger, and it works as an actual stamp. So during the Paralympics, when people wanted my autograph, I gave them my finger stamp instead of my name. Anyway, that's the kind of person I am, if you want to get a gist. I last year had my 35th operation, so I've had heaps of corrective surgery to work through different pain and issues that I've had. Through my childhood, I could walk really easily until about up till when I was about 18, and then I started to use the wheelchair a lot more when one of my ankles started to turn in on itself. So my last kind of 10 to 12 years have been the biggest change in my body, where my foot turned in and I had to have a triple fusion. So I've got big screws holding my right foot and ankle kind of on and together. And now I can stand on that, but my left ankle is now about to go. So we're talking now about more surgery. Arthrogryposis is it's not meant to be a degenerative disability, but we don't have a lot of cartilage, and we also our joints are not the right shape. So everything rubs on each other. I can feel my elbows moving. I can feel my fingers moving. So I think it's interesting how they don't think it's going to get worse. Like, how could it not get worse? So it's arthritis. It's a very intense version of arthritis. So I don't know really what my body will be like as I get older, but I'm not a person who's had a disability and woken up in a hospital and I can't walk. I've walked one day and I can't walk the next. It's been a progressive change for me, and having to overcome that regularly is difficult, but also I wouldn't have it any other way.
How to use my strengths.
My strengths. I believe that a lot of my strengths probably stem from being a Paralympian. The dedication, relentless work towards achieving a goal. I believe that I am relentless when I want something. I just keep on going and going and going. Learning how to walk again 5 times in my lifetime has demonstrated to me, and I believe to others, that I will just keep on going until I get what I want. There's also power in being able to listen to people and being able to be supportive of people, and to not let what other people think of you worry you or control you. I have no qualms on what people think about me. I used to, and I just don't care anymore, because the only person that got upset from that was me. And so I think it's a real strength when you can drop everyone else's expectations or the idea of self-shame and just move on with your life, and in a joyful way. I made a decision a long time ago that everything that I wanted, or every day when I woke up, I was choosing joy, and I wanted to just do everything that always brought me joy. And I think that, that's a goal for me. So I'm relentless in always moving towards a feeling of joy. The supports that I've had put in place since I've had the NDIS for about 2 years, I have an amazing person come twice a week who helps me around the house with my cleaning and cooking, and they go off and do whatever I need them to do with running different errands and stuff. And it's been amazing because I don't have to ask my parents. And the relationship with my family has changed dramatically, but in a positive way, because I'm no longer having to, I don't feel guilty for asking for assistance, but also I just am completely independent in what I'm doing, which is so amazing at 37 to feel that I don't have to, I can rely on someone else, and there's no emotion involved in the assistance. Charlie just comes in and does what they do and then leaves. So it's really, really cool. Yeah. I want more people with disabilities to feel like they can be fully fledged, successful, abundant business owners, and that maybe one day they don't have to rely on the disability pension. They can make enough money because of who they are and what they bring to the world. And like, this is my big dream, that we don't have to abide by other people's views on who we are as people with disabilities. We can be who we are just because of who we are. Yeah. Exactly. I have an amazing plan coordinator. Kelly has helped me with pretty much all of my requests. My big goal is to own my own home and to be able to have the house converted. And at the moment, I'm on the way to achieving my big goal for the NDIS. Another goal of mine is to remove things from my life that cause me fatigue, which then leads to feelings of depression and anxiety and uncertain or unworthiness and feeling uncertain about things. And so Kelly has really built my plan up to be really helpful and beautiful to assist me in that.
How should I communicate with you?
I predominantly talk to my LAC on the phone. We have really great open conversations. It's been a really productive and happy experience for me because I feel like I can ask her any question and she can give me an answer, as whether that's something that you can apply for or something that you can't apply for. I really value those conversations because I understand that having something like the NDIS isn't just free money coming to me because I am in a wheelchair. I want it to be something that is really going to assist me to be the best version of myself in this life. So I think that those conversations are just so important, and they also empower the person with the disability to take charge of their life as well, whether they're self-managed or they have an organisation that manages their fund. I think it's really important for planners to understand that working with people with disabilities means that we're already overanalyzing and thinking about things in terms of access or how we can get into the space even before we've come to the meeting. So more often than not, we're already tired by the time we've got there. You do sometimes feel fatigue when you are having to get on the online portal and having to kind of apply for the money to come back. Sometimes if I'm feeling overwhelmed about disability stuff or having just to manage everyday work things as well as disabilities, the NDIS stuff can fall a little bit by the wayside. And, you know, having a disability sometimes means that, you know, there are moments of avoidance in your life because it all gets a little bit too hard. So I've definitely had moments where I've felt like I've had to put it on the back burner because I've just had to focus on what's happening in my life as Elle, instead of Elle with a disability for a moment, and being able to communicate to them and ask them what their needs are without you feeling embarrassed and kind of dancing around the subject will really, really help you as well. Be super direct and just ask what they need to make their access or their life easier. I've had some really great conversations with my support workers, and one of the ones that really stuck in my mind when I went to my first planning meeting was that my LAC asked me, what would happen if your parents went overseas and your sisters went on holidays and you were left in Melbourne by yourself? And this question, I feel, gave her all the answers that she needed because I burst into tears, because the thought of being left on my own before I had any NDIS support was so overwhelming that I felt like I wouldn't be able to survive. So knowing that she basically could build a plan so that I never felt like I was going to be on my own. And so knowing that a planner understands that I am thinking about every single little aspect of every single moment, whether there's going to be steps or even gravel, or be able to get a car park, or I'll get a flat tire, or any of that kind of stuff. That's always kind of it's like a rolling movie in my mind the whole time, will help them to be able to support me as a person with a physical disability so much more.
For more information, please visit the NDIA intranet.